This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles, iHeartRadio, Fox Radio, and FS1. In about 40 minutes from now, we have a really cool NFL graphic. Vegas has weighed in on your football teams, and there are three things that completely jump out to me. Vegas has weighed in. I trust Vegas. And there's three things that I think are really fun to discuss and that just jump out to me. Not necessarily mistakes by Vegas, but proclamations, referendums by Vegas, what they really believe and what we should watch out for next year. So stick around for that. We also have Kenyon Martin coming in, number one overall pick years ago. Over the course of, John, you worked with me for a long time, Greg just for a couple years. One of the things I discuss a lot is the interpretation of words. Valuable is a very confusing word. The things that are most important in my life are my kids, my wife, my job. But when I wake up in the morning, the most valuable part of my life is transportation. I got to get to work. I got to take people places. And we confuse valuable with great. There's a lot of great players. Mike Trout for the Angels is great. How valuable is he? All right, we see this all the time in sports. This guy's great. They're not that valuable. Gronk is great. He's not worth half a point. New England now has figured out in their bubble screens and their running game, they score 28 with him. They score 28 without him. Gronk is great. He's not that valuable. Julio Jones of the Atlanta Falcons is great. He's not, frankly, that valuable. They generally have very good second and third options in the receiving corps. They had Tony Gonzalez for years at tight end. They have two very good backs. They have an excellent quarterback. Now they have a very good offensive line and a smart offensive coordinator. Julio Jones missed 2 games last year for Atlanta. They scored over 40 both times. Don't confuse great with valuable. Now, oftentimes great is valuable. Brady, Aaron Rodgers. But there's 4 teams left, Boston and Cleveland in the East. That series starts Sunday. Golden State and Houston. That series, going to be fun, starts Monday. And I thought, who are the 10 of all the, not just players, people, 1 through 10, the most valuable MVPs, the most valuable people in order, in my opinion, in this series. So let's start with number 1. I think it's very obvious. This isn't because I think LeBron's great. Basically, over the last 4 playoffs, LeBron is 44-8 against the East, averaging 34.3 points a game. They're basically 31-5 when LeBron scores 30 or more. He is the one player has shown that he can single-handedly, Toronto, beat a team. Let's be honest. He got very little support from his second-best player, Kevin Love, against Indiana, and won the series. LeBron's the most valuable person in these playoffs for his team.
Number 2.
May surprise you. I would say Brad Stevens. This is a very young team. Young kids and young players are impressionable. They went 7-0 so far at home in the postseason. They did not have as good of players as Milwaukee. They don't. They do not have 2 stars like Philadelphia. Name another team in the last 10 years that won back-to-back series facing 3 superstars, 3 stars, and he doesn't have any. And their go-to players are Al Horford, 20-year-old Jason Tatum, and 21-year-old Jaylen Brown. Brad Stevens, to me, is the only reason you give Boston a chance to beat Cleveland. It ain't Terry Rozier, and it's not Horford. It's Brad Stevens defending LeBron. Number 3.
Number 3.
Chris Paul. Whoa. What about? The Rockets are 58-10 when he plays. Okay? The Rockets are 27-3 when he scores just 20. Better than any Harden stat when he scores 20. He's not flashy, but they won 10 games more this year and got to the Eastern Conference Finals. because Chris Paul arrived. Ask yourself this. What is the reason you think Houston has a chance here? It's not James Harden. They had James Harden last year. The reason you think they have a chance is if Chris Paul is substantial in 4 or 5 games in this series. You don't think they're going to win because of Clint Capella. You don't think they're going to win because of Mike D'Antoni. And you don't even think they're going to win because of James Harden. We've seen that act before. You believe they can beat Golden State if this guy plays. That's more valuable than James Harden.
Number 4.
Let's be honest. Steph Curry is the straw that stirs this drink. They're 44-11 this year when Curry plays. Not only that, their tempo when he left slowed considerably. What makes them a special team is their spacing, their intelligence, their ball handling, and their shooting. He's great at all of them, and he is unquestionably the motor that drives this machine.
Number 5.
Klay Thompson. If I said to you, Klay Thompson is going to give James Harden fits, what do you think is going to happen in the series? By the way, Harden is shooting 38.5% versus Golden State over the last 3 years. Do you realize that? That James Harden, the one guy in the league that gives James Harden trouble, is Klay Thompson. You take Klay Thompson out of this series, Houston is a coin flip to me. Klay Thompson's defense is the one annoyance in the league that separates Golden State from Houston. Harden shoots 38.5% over the last 3 years against when Klay's guarding him.
Number 6.
James Harden. He's great, but he's 2-8 against the Warriors in the playoffs. And the Rockets are 5-0 this postseason when he scores 25 or less. I'm not saying he's not great. He is. He's going to win the MVP. But they win when he has off nights. Did you just see what happened in their last series? He was sick and played poorly, and they won going away. Don't confuse volume and points and shots with valuable. Number 6.
Number 7.
Excuse me, 7, I can't count. Kevin Love. Pretty simple. When he scores just over 10 points, the Cavs are 6-1 in the playoffs. When he scores under it and struggles, they're 2-2. Listen, LeBron's not beating Boston by himself. He's not. He needs Kevin Love to play at that all-star Kevin Love 18-8 level. And as great as LeBron is, the reason this is lost in all this, Kevin Love had a great series against Toronto, the number 1 seed, and they swept him. Kevin Love had one of his worst all-time playoff series against Indiana, and Sabonis and Victor Oladipo and Lance Stevenson took him 7. He is the most important LeBron teammate.
Number 8.
Draymond Green. Again, I think he's the bouncer in a bar full of guys that wear skinny jeans. I think Draymond Green, this team is 54-3 when he gives you 10-plus assists. Here's the other thing. I may be wrong on this. I think he averaged the triple-double in the last series. I'm not sure any player in the playoffs so far has averaged the triple-double. Draymond Green is the counter-punch to Golden State. Klay can shoot. Durant can shoot. Steph can shoot. Who does the dirty work? He's the Rodman of the Bulls. Draymond Green, number 8, in most valuable person.
Number 9.
Mike D'Antoni. He cannot get worked over by Steve Kerr and the staff. Okay, they do the pick and roll really well. Here's what they don't. Anything besides the pick and roll. He is going to be a key element in this series. He has got to have a second and third punch. Golden State's got more good players, more layers, and extremely solid coaching. Mike D'Antoni, the pressure is on here to give me something beyond the pick and roll.
Number 10.
I know what you're saying. Coward, you're out of your gourd. This is my entire point. Kevin Durant's great. If I told you Kevin Durant scored 22.5 points in this series, you'd go, all right. Steph was great. Clay shut down Harden, and Draymond gave you those triple doubles. Durant, remember, this team won 73 regular season games without Durant. They won an NBA championship without Durant. Durant's a great player, probably the second best basketball player in terms of talent on the earth. But they're 21-10 with KD and without Steph. They're a really good team with Durant and no Steph. They're a great team when you add Steph. So in terms of valuable, it's a word we've always been confused by and struggle with. There is my top 10. Vegas, it did a very cool thing. We found this graph where they are ranking all the NFL teams in terms of win totals. And it's going to be really cool before the end of this hour. Bucky Brooks next hour, by the way, former NFL scout, NFL Network guy. I want you to see this. It's coming up in about 15 minutes. It's worth your time. It's a lot of fun, and it says 3 things about the NFL. That's around the corner. We've all been there dealing with frustrating situations. Our car, our SUV, whatever it is brings us. You go for an oil change. You got another issue, and you leave, and you pay $480, and you thought you were going to pay $24 at Jiffy Lube. You're stuck on the side of the road. Your car breaks down. It's embarrassing. Everybody's driving by. You got to get a tow truck. Listen, man, cars and transportation are vital. That's where Car Shield comes in. First of all, they'll give you a free rental car while yours is in the shop. They provide 24/7 roadside assistance. Even simple repairs to a sensor light can cost you $800-900. Save yourself thousands in future car repairs. CarShield.com code HERD. CarShield.com code HERD. Or call 800-CAR-6100, 800-CAR-6100, and mention the code HERD. A deductible may apply.